Welcome to MI Magazine Presents Soul, a weekly entertainment show on fashion, arts and culture, mental health, relationships, travel, and food. Our weekly co-hosts are Carla Hill, Dr. Delvina Thomas, and Chef Irie. Now introducing our host, Miss Nikki Jellin.
Hello, everybody. Good night and happy Hump Wednesday. Hope y'all had a really good night, a good day today. And thanks for joining us tonight. So I do want to start by giving a shout out to our sponsors. So Soul is brought to you by the SWA, the Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County, and the AARP. It's also brought to you by the African American Black Alzheimer's Disease Initiative at the John P. Hussman Institute for Human Genomics, University of Miami Miller School of Medicine. If you are someone that is experiencing loss of memory or memory problems, or if you know someone who has those problems, please contact their research team for more info at 877-686-6444. Again, that number is 877-686-6444. So we're all in a pandemic. And let me know in the comments, but during this quarantine and period because of the pandemic, have you been eating a lot? Have you been like going in the fridge every probably 10 seconds? Have you noticed any weight gain? Have you been stressed out, depressed? So we have a special guest tonight, and she has totally transformed her mind, her soul, and her body physically. So I'll be speaking to Nikasha, the founder of Kio Diet. You don't want to miss it, so stay tuned. Now we're going to get the show started. So on to my first co-host. She is a board-certified psychiatrist and also the founder and host of the Brain Love podcast. So Dr. Delvina, happy Hump Wednesday.
Hey, happy Hump Wednesday, Nikki. Are you ready to take the couch?
I'm ready.
Yes. So, we're still in September. I have a couple of things I want to say about September, and especially I want to start with September 13th, 1994. Where were you, Nikki? September 1994.
I was in the third grade in Miami Gardens.
Oh my gosh, the third grade?
Yes, girl, the third grade. Yes.
My goodness.
Right in Carol City, honey. Uh-huh.
I was a freshman in college at College of Notre Dame, an all women's Catholic school. And Biggie Smalls, the notorious B.I.G., dropped his first album called Ready to Die on September 13th, 1994. That album really changed the game totally in hip hop. So I want to start with that. Maybe I should have ended with that instead of ending with some other stuff, but we're going to start with that. So, remember this?
Who the hell is this paging me at 5:46 in the morning? Crackers on and now I'm yawning. Wipe the cold out my eyes. See who this paging me and why. It's my man Pop from the barbershop. Told me he was in the gambling spot and heard the intricate plot of people want to shoot me like fly paper, neighbor. Slow down, love, please chill, drop the caper.
Remember them hoes on the hill up in Brownsville that you rolled dice with, smoked blunts and got nice with?
Yeah, my nigga up in Prospect. Yeah, that my people now love with disrespect.
I didn't say them, they schooled me to some niggas that we knew from back when you was clocking minor figures. Now they heard you blowing up like nitro when you wanna stick the knife through your windpipe slow. So they ain't for down to me, cause now I'm warning you. I got the Mac, nigga, tell me what you wanna do.
Damn, why they wanna stick me for my paper? Damn, why they wanna stick me
with that video? Because music is therapy. Oh, were you?
I was feeling it.
That's right, and exactly, and that's why that album changed the game in hip hop, like totally changed the game in hip hop. And so I just wanted to shout out to the notorious B.I.G. May he rest wherever he is, wherever he is. May he rest in peace. And so September is also Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, as well as Self-Care Month. Last month, we talked about some self-care. This month, I want to spend a little time on suicide prevention because a lot of people are killing themselves by the method of suicide, especially little Black and brown boys and girls ages 12 to actually younger ages 8 up to about 17. That number has gone up. And so we have to make some changes. We have to be able to recognize the signs of a person who's struggling with suicide. So let's bring up the next video.
And ask them how they're doing. Social isolation is a big risk factor for people who attempt and commit suicide. So keep that in mind when you see someone and they look like they're hurting or they're standing next to you. Just say hello to them, because that person might be in that moment contemplating ending their life. Thank you for listening and have a good afternoon.
Let's give Dr. Delvina. Hey, wait a minute, hold up, Doc. You listen up. Dr. Delvina has been doing a 22 push-up challenge for their military. 22 military personnel commit suicide every day. So she just completed a 22-day push-up challenge. So she's already done 22 days. So right now she's going to do a 23rd day. Go ahead. Come on, knock them out. No. Come on, soldier. This is a major. Well, excuse me, colonel. Lieutenant.
All
3,
right.
4,
Here we
5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 20. All right, ladies, 26. So, ladies, you can do this, okay? Give her another round of applause.
All right. Shout out to
You missed my PA.
I missed the PA.
Yes. PA Jackie Small.
All right, we're done with the video. Shout out to Eric Snow, the president of the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. That was at the annual golf tournament that they do every year, which, by the way, the golf tournament is coming up October 29th. So get your teams together. DRT Behavioral Services, my company, will be sponsoring again this year. And so, as he said, veterans are also committing suicide at high rates, higher than the general population. At one point in time, it may be a little higher, but 22 veterans were killing themselves every day. So in September, some Marines a while ago got together and said, to bring some awareness to the situation, we want folks to do 22 push-ups every day for 22 days during the month of September, which again is Suicide Prevention Month. And so that's why we do the push-ups. I think we have one more video as well. Well, I thought we had a video, but no, we don't. Tomorrow night, which is Thursday, September 16th, I have a guest who will be on with me on my YouTube channel, which is Dr. Delvina Thomas, also on Facebook on the Brain Love Podcast Facebook page. I'm talking to Nana Abena Koko Ado. She is a mental health advocate and a body positivity advocate. She's an entrepreneur and she lives in Ghana. And this young lady is going to talk about her personal story and experiencing her first episode of mania and being diagnosed with bipolar. She's had episodes of depression, mania, and has also been suicidal. And you'll hear her talk about that as well. And so that is why this will air during Suicide Prevention Month. She'll talk about how she, during her moments of depression, felt very low and got to a point of not wanting to live anymore. If you know someone who's experiencing that sort of thing, please convince them. They can call 911. You can escort them to the nearest emergency room. They can also call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, which is the 800-273-8255 number. People may not remember this number, so you can also call, as I said, 911, 211. Go to your nearest ER. If you have a mental health professional who takes care of you, go and see that person. I have a question in the chat. Someone asked, what's mania? Watch tomorrow night and you'll hear what mania is. But it is a type of mood disorder. Mania is when someone is very irritable or angry for no reason at all, or they're very super happy and euphoric, and like it seems like they've taken drugs or something like that. And that mood is accompanied by other symptoms. It's not just one or two of those things. It's other specific criteria that justifies a diagnosis of mania. And actually, in about 30 minutes, I'll be on Instagram Live with Nana Adena Coco Ado. I love seeing her name. And we'll be talking just to, as you said, Nikki, tease up the show for tomorrow night. So that's all I have for you. Say brain love.
Brain love, but hold on one sec. So Christy goes, yes, push-ups. And then someone goes, I was there when you did the push-ups. That was very impressive. So your biceps must be like, you know what I'm saying? How your biceps looking right now? You know, you flexing?
They ain't looking too good right now.
All good. They look good to me.
Not dangling though. It's not. I'm not dangling from the triceps.
All right. So Dr. Delvina, thank you so much. And so again, tonight is your teaser at 7:30, and tomorrow is the actual interview. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Brain love.
Brain love. And now on to my next co-host. I want to say that she is our arts culturist, the wonderful Miss Carla Hill.
Hi, Nikki, and hello, MIA Soul. I'm Carla Hill, and this week's Cultural Report includes one of my favorites. The Dance Theater of Harlem will be returning to South Florida at the Miramar Cultural Center on September 25th and 26th. They'll be presenting a powerful vision for ballet in the 21st century. Through performances, community engagement, and arts education, the company carries forward Dance Theater of Harlem's message of empowerment through the arts. In 1969, the height of the civil rights movement, Arthur Mitchell and Carol Shook founded Dance Theater of Harlem. Their vision remains one of the most democratic in dance. Now entering its 6th decade, the renowned Dance Theater of Harlem will offer a masterclass on Saturday, September 25th at Miramar Cultural Center. It will involve a ballet warm-up, center work, and across-the-floor movement. This is open to all levels, beginner to professional. There is a maximum of 35 participants allowed, and it costs $15 to participate. Later, on September 25th, from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m., there will be a free community event for all ages. It's a fun, active community engagement, dancing in the streets party, and it's an open-air event hosted by Dance Theater of Harlem at Miramar Cultural Center. They will deliver a brilliant mashup of ballet and classic social dancing for all ages. Every skill level is invited. There is a maximum of 50 participants, but get ready to get in that old school style Soul Train line. Go to miramarfl.gov to secure your spot for the masterclass on September 25th. Remember, that's $15 and is limited space. Or reserve your spot for Dancing in the Streets, which is at 6:30 on September 25th. I need to mention that it is limited. Dancing in the Streets is limited to 50 people due to COVID. And of course, don't forget to get your tickets for the Sunday, September 26th show. Tickets again range from $25 to $45. Don't miss the opportunity to see legacy right in front of you. Dance Theater of Harlem returns to South Florida. I'm Carla Hill, and I'll see you next time, MIA Soul.
We'll see you next time. And now on to my next co-host. He is a private and personal chef. He's also the host of Taste the Island on American Public Television. So, Chef Irie, wagwan, happy Hump Wednesday.
What's going on, Nikki? What's going on, my girl? Salute, darling. Happy Hump Wednesday. Yes, indeed. Yes. Thank you very much. With your mule cup and my, cognac glass, even though I'm not drinking cognac. It's a little Jameson and Ice. That's all it is today, baby. All it is.
That's all it takes.
That's all. Well, that's not all it takes, but that's all we're giving right now. So, what are we talking about today? So recently, a few days ago, I posted on my IG, a flyer, I think it's a flyer. Anyway, and it asked the question, do you think that agriculture or farming should be taught to kids as a program in school? And so as I'm now looking through all the responses, it's a resounding yes from pretty much everybody that responded. And when you look at the responses, pretty much feel that it's something that should be taught to young kids so that kids can know exactly where our foods come from and how we develop, nutritious quality products for good health. Well, that led me to think about farm to table experiences, because now that we're all grown now, we're adults, and we are making better choices, and we're eating, we some of us are eating in very really 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 good places, and we are experiencing high quality products. So what is farm to table? So it is as it says, from the farm, either directly to either your home or the restaurants, are the experiences that you participate in. And the good thing about the farm to table experiences, yes, it could be from mostly sustainable farms, organic farms, which is always good. So what the restaurants are really portraying in this movement is that the foods that you're going to be eating for that dish will all be locally sourced, and usually that's within a certain radius, if you would, from the restaurant or where that experience is being held. So whether it's the beets, whether it's the pig, the pork from the pig, the chicken, the fish, all that stuff comes from within a limited amount of mileage from that particular restaurant. Now, this farm to table experience can be very literal, where you are actually dining on a farm, in a farm. Yes, kale and callaloo and corn growing outside. And guess what? There's a lavish setup inside the middle of that farm. And, the chef and the cook, they're making it happen for you. It's lavishly decorated. And, it's a nice, cool day. And you're drinking some cool wine or whatever it is. But yes, the experiences can be very literal. Like I said, right there in the middle of a winery. Napa Valley, I am coming out there soon, baby. Yes. All right. So farm to table is not just, everybody like, white farmers, but hey, I want to talk about my black farmers. Why? Because they produce excellent, excellent, excellent produce. And we don't get to talk about them because the amount of black farms in the United States has been reduced severely, drastically. The numbers have been reduced like 100-fold. We used to own acreage of farms here in the United States, and there's not a lot of black farms. And the bad thing about this right now is that funding to help black farmers to be sustainable, they are fighting against, the whole idea from the monies that came out to help farms. They don't want the black farmers to get none of that. How silly is that? So this farm right here, this is in Jamaica, Stush in the bush. Now, the cool thing about this is that, they grow everything vegetarian. So all their food in St. Anne's in Jamaica, it's all vegetarian, organic. And so the whole idea for farm to table, like I said, you grow it, you raise it, you cook it, you eat it, or you sell it. All right. And, more black farming here in the United States. We want to see more of that. Here is Gilead Farms. They are in Brunswick, Georgia. And I know Chef Matthew Rayford. I met him several years ago, and his farm has been handed down in the family from generations. It's a 150-year-old farm that his great granddad started. His great granddad was a sharecropper, from. So this is all in the family, and he revamped the farm with his sister Althea. He now has a cookbook, Briz and Yam, which literally translates, I think, eat. Yes, bless and eat. So we have a lot of younger farmers now that are coming up who are looking forward to growing, great quality products and produce and bringing those farm to table. So do you know what the person is called who participates in farm to table experiences. Do you know what do you call yourself?
Oh, there's a name for that?
Yes, there's a name for it.
Can I Google it right quick?
No, you can't. So people who dine in this experience are called locavores. Yes, locavores. Yes, so you basically eat, you participate in experiences and you get your food. Usually, 10, 15, 20 miles, maybe no more than 50 miles from where you reside. And so all your food and produce, protein sources come from within that radius from you. So if you know some locavores out there, shout them out, my dear. Shout them out.
I was going to ask you to let us know. Maybe on another segment, you can let us know.
Well, in terms, another segment, we could definitely, shout out, and I definitely want to do something else, on Black farmers and the Black farmers here in the United States, so that we can be more aware and, to definitely, see where those farm to table experiences are being had, especially here in South Florida. And, if I'm able to curate one of those, I'd love to say, anybody out there listening, Chef Ari wants to do a farm to table experience. Yes.
Let's do it.
So we have been reeling and rolling out new shows. And guess what? I have another show coming out on the MIA platform. It is called Flavor of South Florida. Yes, we start tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the first episode. And my first chef and restaurant guest will be Chef Judith Abel. And her restaurant is Swirl Wine Bistro in Coconut Creek. So tune in at 7 p.m. tomorrow, where we shall have some dining fun.
Oh my gosh.
South Florida.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
Me too. Hey.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cheers. I'll be tuning in tomorrow.
Salud, my dear. Salud. Yes. And big ups, as I say, to all the locavore and farm to table experiences. And eat well, live well, drink well, play well.
Yeah, but so I know we're about to wrap up, but I want, so it's called locavore is the name?
Locavore, L-O-C-A.
Locavore.
Yes, locavore. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's many down here, like within South Florida.
Yeah, so that the whole movement, I think started out in the West and Midwest, and so if you're like from the West Coast, Napa Valley, San Diego, all those regions, where, that kind of movement, that's where most of the movement started, where people really wanted to take advantage of really good quality products, not just produce, but products. So the sustainable farms, organic farms, really came into vogue, and yes, those products are more expensive because they take a lot more for them to grow those products on those farms. So sustainable is not just some thrown around word. It is very meaningful. So when you go out and you go on the restaurant and you see a restaurant say we're promoting farm to table products, and you basically, what they're going to do is list in most of their menu selections so you'd see something like Berkshire pork from, you see beets from such and such a place, chicken from such and such a place. And so they're really telling you, hey, we went out and we spent some time and locally sourced these products so that we can give you the best dining experience.
Of course, yeah, and you get what you pay for. So for an experience like that, I will definitely drop some coins.
There you go. Cause it's all gonna be fresh. Cause the fresher, the food is harvested and grown and raised. It's the best. So when you don't start off with crap, because if you start off with crap, guess what? You will get crap at the end result. So all your products, they need to be high quality, good quality. So you get and one quick thing, please pay attention to foods and the seasons we need to start getting back to that in terms of when foods are really supposed to be harvested. Yes, I know we can get everything all year long in most places, but especially here in South Florida, you can get like everything all the time. but sometimes you really need to pay attention to the seasonal aspects of food. So you eat it when it's in season, and come the next another season, you eat something else that's in season. When that something come back around, you eat that again. So I think we need to start getting back and looking at that and see how it will really help our bodies. As so our next guest that's coming up, I'm sure she could probably start talking about a lot of this thing too.
Yes, I'm sure she is. And that's another good topic for another show, another segment topic. There you go. All right, well, Chef, thank you so much. And again, I'm going to challenge you. I think the whole locavore is such a great concept, and maybe you can be the pioneer to start one down here in South Florida. IJS, I'm just saying. All right, so cheers.
Salud.
And we'll see you tomorrow. Salud. And like what Chef said, our special guest tonight, so she has a political background, and because of the whole quarantining pandemic circumstances, she made a complete 360 from that field into the health and wellness field. So Ms. Nikasha Wells is the founder of the Kio Diet. And Nikasha, you're on mute right now. So you want to unmute that mic. There we go.
You would think after 18 months of being in a virtual world, I would know better than to be on mute. I'm so
It's all good. It's all good. Well, thanks for being our guest tonight. You look fabulous. I'm loving your red lips and your pearl earrings.
Thank you. Thank you.
Girl. Okay, so let's start. So how did you get into politics? That's your background. So how did you fall into that field altogether?
So I hate even saying this, but it was like 20 plus years ago that I started volunteering on campaigns as a student at Florida State University. Seminoles, I'm sorry.
I was going to do that,
So my work on campaigns started a very long time ago, and it's a passion for me. I love the political process. And particularly just from even my grandparents, they lived in Quincy, Florida, and they, registered African Americans to vote. And my grandmother even lost her job registering Black folks to vote in Quincy, Florida. So it's in my blood. So I've just always loved the political process. And then as, I kind of progressed with my experience, I started getting, more responsibility, if you will, on political campaigns. And that culminated with me having a statewide position, both on the Obama 2008 effort, as well as just most recently, the 2020 Joe Biden presidential campaign. So I've done it all. From local races, mayoral efforts, all the way up to presidential. So it's just anytime I have an opportunity to get involved in politics. And then I also worked in governmental affairs for local government. So, it's just, I've run the gamut as far as governmental and political experience is concerned.
Wow. Oh my God. What, girl, you had me at Obama. Okay.
That will forever be my most favorite experience, and meeting Michelle Obama and her saying, you look too young to be a lawyer. And I'm like,
well, girl, you know.
Exactly. So that was literally that was the cherry on top.
Okay, so I'm a TV junkie, and I love watching a lot of drama. So I'm a fan of House of Cards, Scandal, and the latest, The Oval on BET. I don't know if you heard of The Oval. It's a Tyler Perry. So is it true? Is the culture true as far as politics and what happens internally? Is it a lot of sex, a lot of drama? Is the drama? So is that a fact?
It's all true. It's all true. And I would venture to say that TV actually is mirroring life, real life. What is it? Art imitating life.
Exactly. That's what it is. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think it's entirely true. All of everything that you could imagine happens in the political realm. It's unfortunate. But they're human beings. Elected officials are just like everybody else, and they fall and they make mistakes and they, fall from grace. Unfortunately, we have folks that we love so dearly who are in that space that, you know, just make really colossal missteps, unfortunately. But everything that you see,
and I think we kind of put them on a pedestal. So whenever like something bad happens, we're like, oh, what did they do? Because we see them as just a pastor, like we see them as glorious and faultless. Exactly. And I know the latest scandal with Andrew Gillum was a couple of years ago, and everybody was like, what? Right. So it's like really just scandalous, and it's kind of like a reality TV show. We're all glued to that. So okay.
No, it's very. You said Andrew Gillum, and I'm thinking Andrew Cuomo, and you know,
it's like what?
Exactly.
Come again,
Andrews. It's so unfortunate because they are very gifted politically, and that will never be questioned. And I think that's the unfortunate thing, is that their humanity can't be separated from their political.
No. Yeah, I agree with you on that, definitely. So now from politics to now the health and fitness like industry and the birth of the Kio Diet. Like, how did that even happen? That's not like a whole 360.
Complete. Well, let me tell you. So this is not, you know, my first foray into health and wellness. I will tell you, about 8 years ago, I started with, you know, kind of like everybody else, with all of these different network marketing companies who were offering all of these, you know, get slim quick products. And I bit like immediately. I was so excited because a little bit over almost 10 years ago, she'll be 10 in a little less than a month, my daughter was born. And so I've been struggling with my weight ever since. You know, you can't blame being fat on your baby if your baby is 10. Okay. That's no longer a good excuse. It's not baby fat anymore. So I have literally been struggling with weight ever since then. And so anytime some little, you know, fad diet came along, I jumped on board. And nothing worked. Nothing was sustainable. Nothing, you know, lasted longer than a few months. And so I think, like everybody else around the globe, the pandemic hit. And it just was life-changing for me in so many different ways. From a career perspective, you know, I was working from home all of a sudden, like, you know, you go to work on Thursday and Friday, and then Monday you're working from home and doing Zooms and teleconferences, and our whole lives just changed in such a very, very fast, you know, time space. And so I think, like everybody else, you know, I was doing every other parent, I was doing homeschool, and I was working at the same time, and day drinking, because those two things require day drinking.
I mean, it's right there. So why?
I mean, it's a necessity if you're going to be, you know, functional. So just the weight came on. I mean, fast. Like, it was, you know, within a matter of like 60 to 90 days, I had gained like 20 pounds. I mean, it was out of control. And so by December, I knew I had to do something. And every time I thought about losing weight, I was like, oh, you know, I'm going to go to the gym and, you know, start working out and doing all this stuff. And that just faded so fast. It wouldn't last more than a couple of months. Every year I had a New Year's resolution, 2019, 2020, you know, it was like every year. And I'm like, okay, so this isn't working. So I've got to do something else. So in December of 2020, I was still working from home at the time. And I said, I've got to do research on the food. It's got to be a nutrition thing at this point, because I know for me at 41, I'm never going to be a fitness buff. I'm just not. And I'm just being realistic about that. So the only other thing about weight is food. And so I had to figure that part out. So I started doing research about keto, because I had just heard so much about it. Everybody was talking about it. And then I started doing research on the other buzzword or phrase, was intermittent fasting. You know, I think anytime Jay-Z puts a phrase in a rap song, it's going to become a buzzword. And so I think he did this song with Nas and DJ Khaled, our local hero. And he said something about intermittent fasting, girl, and everybody went crazy.
I was like, what
So
was
I
that?
started doing some research on it, and it was mind-boggling. Instagram and Google are like the Black Girl Bible. And so I started doing research, and I saw a lot of folks who, just were really having a lot of success. So I said, let's go. And me, I am one of those people that when I set my mind to something, when I say, okay, this is what we're going to do. It's manifestation. That's another buzzword everybody's using, manifesting bringing things forth. But I am so serious about it. When I say it and believe it, it's going to happen. And so I've started combining these two concepts together because I hadn't seen in any of my research combining keto with intermittent fasting. And that was it. That was the game changer for me. And I mean, the weight just literally 20 pounds in the first 30 days.
So the name is Kio. So like, what does Kio stand for?
So that's it. So the K stands for keto. I is for intermittent fasting. And the O is the other game changer. And that is OMAD, or 1 meal a day. And so, exactly. Girl, people, when I say 1 meal a day, people are like, girl, what?
4 times a day. What you mean one meal a day? I can't survive. I'll die.
Well, let me tell you. It's so funny because I know you have heard this, Nikki, and I had heard it a million times. You're supposed to eat little small meals 8 times a day, like just little something, because that keeps your metabolism moving fast. Okay, that's 2 lies. You don't need to eat all day. That's number 1. And the other lie is your metabolism does not slow down as you get older.
Did y'all hear that?
Did you hear that? There is science behind it now. Google it. Literally, the science just came out within the last month. Your metabolism does not slow down between 20 and 60.
All these years.
I know. I know. I hear like the fireworks going off in the background.
No.
Because that's what we always blamed for our weight gain is, my metabolism is, my thyroid. Black people have a lot of excuses for why we gain weight.
Is that hereditary or something else?
Exactly. It's hereditary. My aunties are big. My thyroid is acting up. My metabolism slowing down. My car warranty is about to expire.
So I gotta eat.
Exactly. My knee act up when it rains. It's a lot of reasons that we gain weight. And I'm big bone. I'm just big bone. Everybody bones are the same size. I hate to break it to you, but it's the truth. And so we subscribe to a lot of those reasons why we gain weight as we age. And the vast majority of them, some health issues are legit, but the vast majority of those reasons are total and complete falsities. It's because of sedentary lifestyles, and it's because of our diets. That's it. That's it. And we don't want to accept those 2 things because those 2 things we actually have control over.
It's about discipline. And that's what
or lack thereof. And so we don't want to accept those things. So when I saw that those were the 2 things that I really had control over, I said, let's go. And so I developed the Keo Diet from combining basically those 3 concepts. And OMAD really is just an offshoot, if you will, of intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting, just to give it to you real quick, is just only restricting your food consumption during certain hours of the day. That's it. Fasting is centuries old. I mean, cultures long before us have been fasting. Fasting is biblical. I mean, different religions fast. And so the Muslims and the Buddhists and everybody fasts because there are spiritual as well as physical benefits to fasting. One, if you think about it, however old you are, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, your digestive system has been working just as long as you've been alive and never gets a break. You get a break every day for at least 8 to 10 hours while you sleep, but your digestive tract never gets a break because it's always breaking down such a tremendous amount of food. And so for that, we have to give our digestive systems a break. And that's really all intermittent fasting is.
Okay, so really quickly now. So keto basically is just the keto with a blend of intermittent fasting.
Right.
And let me ask you, so now for intermittent fasting, are there certain hours that you would recommend and not recommend as far as is it the OMAD?
Absolutely.
So what hours should you or should you not consume food?
So for a beginner, you want to start with what's called a 16 and 8 fast. And all that means is you are fasting for 16 hours. So that's easy. It sounds like a lot, but it's easy because 8 of those hours you're asleep. The other 8 hours. So you
I
get
can do that.
Right. We can do that super simple. The other 8 hours are the first 8 waking hours. So for most people, that's a 12 p.m. noon to 8 p.m. food window, if you will. And so those are the hours that you want to restrict your food. And that's, if you think about it, 12 to 8, that's really just skipping breakfast.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Exactly. So I recommend for most people who have never done any type of fasting to start with a 16 and 8 fast first. Because you could, for most people, because our commute to work or, whatever you're doing in the morning is so hectic, most people can skip breakfast and not even think twice about it. We do it anyway. But what happens is when we do start eating, we make up for the time that we didn't eat.
Yeah, you got to double up and triple up now.
Right, we double and triple up at 12 o'clock, and it's like, oh, my coworker it's her birthday, and I have to eat the cake, and then I have to go to lunch, and then after that, then I have to, feed my children when I pick them up from school, and I have to get Chick-fil-A because they're eating it, and it's so much. There's so much on us, but if you get a really strict plan between 12 and 8 of exactly what it is that you're eating and not consuming between those hours, it's game changing. I saw a question about water.
We have a question, yeah. Like, do you drink anything? Well, yeah. Do you drink anything like just water, or can you consume other beverages outside of water?
Well, it's funny because a lot of the folks that have actually started the Keo Diet in the last 2 months, they look for all of these, low cal or, 0 cal drinks. I am strict water. Like I literally, it's so funny because I used to drink Pepsi and coffee and like all these different drinks. Well, coffee I still drink. Coffee is my go-to in the morning, but like I used to drink it with just a ton of sugar and a ton of just a whole bunch of really horrible things. Now, any liquid almost invariably is water. Water is one of it's a secret weapon in weight loss, and people don't understand. And a lot of folks don't like drinking water, and it's so unfortunate because we have so many other options of things to drink, sugary drinks, and one of my friends told me in college, she said, I don't drink anything other than water because I like to eat my calories. And that kind of stuck with me. I was like, yeah.
I have to like counter on that. Yeah.
Right. I was like, I don't want to drink calories. I'd rather eat them than drink them. And so that stuck with me. And I said, okay, cool. I'm cutting it out. So the more water you drink, the more weight you lose. It's that simple.
Yeah. Or just eat watermelon. It's watery and it's filling at the same time.
Okay, let me pause there. I'm so glad you said that, Nikki. Because one thing I know about Black women is when we start to diet, we like to eat fruit.
Yes.
We love it. I mean, I used to see, I had coworkers who would just have these big, beautiful fruit salads, and they'd be like, girl, I'm on a diet. Mm-hmm. Girl, no, you're not. Fruit is, I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash from this, but fruit is the devil.
Oh my God, because of the sugar.
Because of the sugar.
Okay.
It's nature's sugar. Now, it might not be made out in Belgrade, but it is still sugar. It is the devil's fruit. Think about it like that.
All right. Got you.
No, seriously, almost in the last year, Nikki, I have not had almost any fruit in almost 12 months.
Wow.
Because of the sugar. Sugar is the devil. It is what we are fighting against. Most people think about, especially with keto and low carb, they think about getting rid of starch, the breads, the pastas, the
rices. Yeah.
Absolutely. And those things are very, very critical in the weight loss process, but those are sugar, just like fruit.
Right.
It's all sugar.
Yeah.
And it's what sabotages weight loss. And anytime I see Black women doing one of two things or both, going to the gym and eating fruit, I'm like, you are.
It's like you're not water. You're breaking even. Nothing's happening.
Nothing is happening.
So we have your website up right now, and if we can just scroll back up to the top, can you just kind of walk? I think I saw some gummies, So what is this? Wait, so this is yours. So explain to us what these are.
Absolutely. So when I started my journey, I started posting on social media like everybody. And I really did it more so for my own benefit to kind of keep me accountable. So I'm like telling people I'm losing weight, I'm doing this, so on and so forth. And people just started reaching out. They were like, girl, what are you doing? Because when the weight started really rolling off, because your Facebook friends know what you look like in real life. Like they see you at the grocery store and at the Black Chamber events and all that stuff. And they're like, girl, you was big. What is happening? You look really good.
And it's not a filter either. It's the real deal.
No, and you, people see me in person and they're like, oh, Facebook doesn't even do you justice. Like you really look good. And that is so encouraging to me. But I tell them, I started responding to folks one-on-one. Like, I would send long inbox messages like, girl, this is what I did. And step by step, and it became overwhelming. And I said, well, how can I help more people in a more succinct way? And that's how the Kio Diet was really born. And I actually sourced the products for myself, because one of the major things that you fight and battle with in the battle to lose weight is hunger. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure you're familiar with the competition. There's another, very well-known apple cider vinegar gummy out there. Mm-hmm. And so I was using it like everybody else, but I'm like, there's got to be, more to it, because the apple cider vinegar gummy by itself is not going to help you lose weight. You got to do it in combination with some other things. And so that's kind of where my quick start kit came from. MCT oil is really quick and really basic. It is the healthy fat that actually helps you to burn the bad fat. Oh. That's all keto is. Keto is utilizing good fats, which are just your extra virgin olive oils, your MCT oils, your avocado oils, your coconut oils, using those good fats to burn bad fat.
Wow.
It's that simple. So MCT oil is just a supplement, because a lot of people don't get those good fats in large enough amounts during the course of the day to be able to really help them. The keto drops, you literally just take those underneath your tongue before every meal. And it's a fat burner. That's really all it is. And the apple cider vinegar gummies, it's so funny, they're on both sides. Those two on the right side are for weight management and for hunger management. So apple cider vinegar gummies and the OxyBurn literally help you to just completely silence your hunger. Because when you're hungry, that's when your brain kicks into all of the things that you know.
Right.
We're going to Chick-fil-A right now. I'm hungry.
Your brain's like, I'm hungry. Let's go to McDonald's. I'm about to die.
Exactly. I want
your brain.
to do Chipotle, because that's what I know.
Chipotle is the best. Some beans and brown rice, some guac on the side, will be good to go.
But
All
let
right.
me tell you, but can you go to Chipotle and just get a bowl with some lettuce?
Yes, yes. With some black beans, yes.
Hold the black beans. Hold the black beans right now, Nikki. We in our weight loss mode. See, you look good. You look
That's
really
protein. That's
I'm talking, and let me take a second just to talk about COVID, because this is what really impacted me.
yes.
This is the first time in my 41 years of life that I have experienced this much death in this short of a period of time. In 18 months, I have been to more wakes and more funerals than anything I have ever experienced in my entire life. I mean, I'm still trying to even process it. Friends, family members, people I went to college with, people that I went to school with. It is mind-boggling how many people have died. And what I have seen, and this is not about the vaccine, this is not about any of the political parts of the virus. This is about obesity. Because one thing I know is that the people who have suffered the most are the obese and the overweight. That is not questioned. That's one thing that you have not seen people debating about. You haven't seen anybody say, oh no, obese people are really not suffering as much. It's not true. You know it's true because we see it. We see the people that have suffered the most and the people that unfortunately have died from this virus. And I'm talking about under 50, under 40. Some under 30. I mean, it is mind-boggling to me. So I said, you know what? This isn't going to be the last pandemic. Let's keep it 100. Okay. So I said, for me, I wanted to lead my people because I love Black people. Okay. And I wanted to be a beacon of light. I didn't want to just save myself, because what good is you doing something that only benefits you? I said, let me perfect this system and figure out a way to encourage and inspire and really create a system that helps other people to really lose weight. Because one, if you are able to drop the pounds, then you'll be able to fight effectively against whatever the next virus is. I'm not even thinking about COVID. I'm thinking about the next pandemic.
The next one, yeah.
And so because we have such a history of lack of movement and sedentary lifestyles and horrible diets in our community, I wanted to do something to change that. And that's where the Keo Diet really came from.
And that's great. And thanks to social media, you're visually showing people inspiration in real time.
Exactly.
And so because of you and your transformation, they're so inspired because you're human, you're real, and they can see it and it's true.
Exactly.
So that's one thing that I applaud you for that. You're inspiring so many people, and we can find you on, so your website is the KeoDiet.com. It's also scrolling at the bottom as well. And what's your Instagram page? How can we find your page?
Everything is the same. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter is the Keo Diet.
The Keo Diet.
Yes.
Wow.
So I wanted to come up with something that was unique enough that I could actually find the handle everywhere.
That works. And it's really easy to remember as well. So no, thank you so much. And I'm sure you feel great. Your confidence has skyrocketed. It's a whole different, it's just an overall confidence, physically, mentally, emotionally, everything. So
totally.
And health. It's health,
And let me just say this, Nikki, just very quickly. I started seeing Black women fly into the Dominican Republic to have plastic surgery. Okay? To fight against weight battles. Let's really have a real conversation. I mean, leaving their families, going on 4-5 hour flights to have BBLs and smart lipos and nip tucks and all this stuff. And I'm not against plastic surgery. I think people should be able to choose whatever they want to do with their own bodies. And that runs the gamut. I ain't even gonna have that conversation with you tonight. But I think that the problem is that for most women, they don't recognize that surgery is just the beginning of the process. You still have to reshape, and that's our tagline. You have to reshape your relationship with food. Because I can't tell you how many personal friends I have who have had surgery and who have gained the weight back. Because guess what? You did not learn how to reshape your relationship with food. And if you're willing to do something that dangerous and that, life altering, you know what I mean?
Lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle change. Exactly. And so I want to work with the women who want to have surgery and the women who are scared to, like me.
Right. Okay? Yeah, it's a discipline. It's a discipline. I'm scared too. Yes. I saw your daughter in the background. We saw you.
You trying to slide by. Hey,
hi. We're really proud of your mom.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
This is life in the pandemic, girl. Okay.
That's fine. I understand. Trust me, I get it. So what would you tell your younger self? What would you tell your younger self? And how old would you be?
Oh my God, 21. And I would tell myself not to be afraid of entrepreneurship. That's the first thing. I think, a lot of our parents' generation, they kind of bought into the, work for the same company for 30 or 40 years and, get the gold watch and the pension. And I would just say, don't be afraid to, bet on yourself. Yeah. That's first and foremost. Yeah, I don't have any issue with education. I am grateful for, getting my bachelor's and getting my Juris Doctorate and the whole nine. But I think that's just the launching pad for you to do whatever is next. And whether or not that's working for someone else or working to, create your own dreams. But I would just tell myself at 21, that would be the critical age, is don't be afraid of betting on yourself.
Wow. Well, it's kind of ironic that you say that, because at 21, you can drink, and at 21, you can bet, right?
Right. Exactly. So if you can buy a lottery ticket, you can also bet on you. And
exactly.
That would be the main thing that I would tell myself, because I was so afraid. I'm like, I need to get a job and I need to do all of these different things. When I tell you, I have learned so much, even starting the Kio Diet, from young women on Instagram and on, Facebook, who are in different, business ventures, just about how they have developed their brands. Like, it's been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, the resources, it's right there at our fingertips, and it's free. Exactly. So there's no excuses. So, well, Nikasha, thank you so much.
I really appreciate it.
Just so happy for you. You're glowing. You're happy. I can feel your energy. We can feel your energy. Thank you so much. And we'll see you on the Kio Diet. We'll see you on Instagram and everything. So thanks again, and keep inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. I really have enjoyed myself.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, sweetie.
And everyone, I just want to just let you know really quick, but we have launched 3 more new shows for your enjoyment and for your educational purposes. So let's see here. We have a show called The Business of Black Business with Jay Reynolds. It's every Monday at 1 p.m. We also do have our show called My Money, Your Money with Bridget Lumpkins. And that is every Tuesday. So here goes Jay Reynolds. So it's every Monday at 1 p.m. Then we have My Money, Your Money with Bridget Lumpkins every Tuesday at 7 p.m. And also don't forget, tomorrow is Lunch with Legacy Leaders with Anne-Marie Serral at 12 p.m. And lastly, earlier today, our wonderful Chef Irie has his own show premiering tomorrow, Thursday, tomorrow at 7 p.m. So visit our Facebook page. It's MIA Media GRP. Again, MIA Media GRP. You can live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So thank you so much. Have a good night, and we'll see you next week.